Let's have a quick chit chat whether or not you should be adding 2 to 3 or 4 millimeters to your resting size nipple when gauging your best fit flange. So I have a nipple ruler here. This is my nipple ruler, and on the back, my directions do state that you should measure before you pump or before you put baby on the breast, because we're looking to reduce any kind of influence on the nipple size itself. And then we're going to measure the base of the nipple and then potentially be adding 2 to 3 millimeters to your resting size. This nipple ruler does go out fairly often, and often it is followed with an email or a direct message saying, hey, I bought your nipple ruler. The directions on the back, do I have to add 2 to 3 millimeters to your resting size? And my answer to this is, it is possible, but this is not a true science, okay? So I can't just like give you advice and then let you sail into the sunset. What we want to do is measure your nipple and then gauge from there your best fitted flange by trial and error. So yes, it's very possible. I'm guilty of this. I need a little more space in my flange tunnel to get that comfort. I have dealt with plenty of moms who, dependent on the size or the style flange that they're using, they may not be adding 2 to 3 millimeters to their resting size. An example of this is going to be the pumpables flanges, the Idaho Jones, and the Legendary Milk. They all have their own names for them, like the fluid kit, liquid kit, and I don't know what Idaho Jones calls theirs. But those are silicone flanges, not to be confused with like the Lactec and the Idaho Jones solid traditional silicone flanges. These have like a silicone insert that sits in a plastic housing, and that particular flange is going to be best matched with your resting size. Unfortunately, there are so many different variables that go into this that you can't just, maybe we can make a post about this alone, but I can't like stick it on every ruler. So baseline and kind of like a blanket place to start for figuring out your nipple size, or your nipple size and your flange tunnel requirement, is to consider adding approximately 2 millimeters to your resting size. However, depending on the product you choose to use, that may not be the right answer for you. So what I would suggest is looking into which product it is you are looking to buy, and then looking at their size requirements or like their size suggestions. So I actually do have some content created on this. I also have it at Be My Best Friend. Depending on the brand, it does have like, if your resting size is this is what we recommend. But then remember, just because they say something or I say something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find comfort. So what I would suggest is measure your base, whatever you're measuring at the base of your breast. So by doing this, you're just going to grab your nipple ruler. You got a resting, non-influenced nipple. There's been no suction, no baby suckle, nothing to influence it to become a little bit larger than possibly it is when it's resting. And then we're going to find the best size by putting your flange ruler to the base of the nipple without any friction. That is what we're going to call your resting nipple size. And from there, I would encourage you to see what you have in the box of the pump that you got, hopefully from insurance or whatever you have. Some pumps, and this is pretty cool, this happens once in a while. I'll have a mom who will have an insurance provided pump that only comes with a 24 and a 28, but then they'll say, hey, I bought this pump or whatever, and it comes with extra inserts. So like an example of that would be the M5. The M5 comes with an assortment of sizes. So I always encourage mom, don't go buying a bunch of flanges. Look at what you have and measure your resting nipple size. Go into that box, see what's been offered already that you already have on hand that you may not know you have, and then play around with those by trying your at resting size nipple, the flange for that size nipple. And then if that's a little tight, then let's go up. Let's go up to about 2 millimeters and see, and that could very well dial in your flange size. So measuring and then testing. Unfortunately, this isn't like one size fits all kind of answer. Sometimes we do need to play around with different sizes to see what fits the best. Most times you're not going to be adding, like I see often like add 4 millimeters to your flange size, which is quite a lot. I don't know that that's the answer for anybody, to be perfectly honest. Usually you're going to be at your resting size, like depending on the style flange you're using, or we're going up 1 or 2, potentially 3 millimeters at the most. And that is my quick chit chat on how to gauge your best fitted size flange. And do you really need to add 2, 3, or 4 millimeters to your resting size? Not always, but it is something to keep on your radar. Number one, first and foremost, measure those nipples at a resting size and see what they measure to help then gauge your best fitted size flange.